you get it right, $10. I will say if you don't have Zelle or Venmo, you might have to gift the $10 to someone else.
Yeah,
but
that's ridiculous.
I think I'm going to jump right in. If I
Yep.
forgot something, we'll figure it out.
So we've got 30 minutes allotted for this. We're going to try and zip right through it, but if you can hang, maybe it might spill over, just an FYI.
Yes. Okay. Here we go. Oh, I should mention, at the end of this, I am going to also send everyone a video. So I did like a little interview with a developer that I placed, and I picked his brain on recruiter InMails that he received, and we just talked about recruiter InMails in general. I don't want to use that as part of today's thing, but I will send that afterwards. I think there's some good stuff in there. One of the things he emphasized, just as a spoiler, is how much stock he put into stuff like presentation and spelling and grammar and things of that nature. But here we go. I'm going to share my screen. And Matt, if you can, let me know when you can see it.
I see you.
All right, InMail training, examples, tricks, tips, and then jokes and cash prizes in case, so people can still like me if it's not that good, but it will be good. Here we go. Message number 1, Matty D.
Message number 1, subject line, solutions architect, innovative product development, remote. Hi, Brandon. I'm working with C&H Industrial, and they're looking to hire a solutions architect for their product teams. I wanted to see if you'd be interested. The teams work on cloud, big data, IoT products in the agricultural space, and use Azure Cloud. Compensation would be up to $160K per year based on experience. Attached is a detailed job description for you to review. Let me know if this is something you might be interested in. I'd be happy to go over the role in further detail with you over the phone. Thanks so much for your time, Brandon. Best regards, me. Okay.
I can't see whose hands are up, Matt, so you're going to have to
I
pick on
can't necessarily either. I think I can. Let me go to the people thing. I've got a few folks here. That's
you got
it.
Sam Simon at number 1.
I see who they are. I was hoping to see people that might not know who it is, but I'll go with Felipe. He, I think, raised his hand first. Go ahead, Felipe.
Ooh. So this one's a bit tough. I'm conflicted, but I want to say this is Jordan's message.
Holy moly, Felipe
Ding, 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 ding.
with the win.
I thought it could be a Simon because of the first name at the end, where it says thank you for your time. And
Nope,
like I thought it was Sam's.
I went with my brother first. So I wanted to show this message. There's a lot of things I like about this, but this is, I think, an example of giving a lot of substantive information in a concise way. Also wanted to point out, so he sells in the subject line. So Jordan does a lot of, so he's got the innovative product development piece of that subject line. And I know in general, he prioritizes putting something in the subject line that catches the eye. This sort of a message is going to have a slightly lower response rate because you're giving people information that they can opt out of. But the quality of, so when you do get an accepted message, it's going to be more likely that it's going to convert into a usable candidate than some of the other ones we'll see, but we'll talk about that more a little bit later. I think a message like this with a ton of detail is going to be particularly good for people that receive a lot of messages. So developers receive 20, 30, 40 messages a day, and they may want the meat and potatoes in order to respond. So I'll pause for like 7 seconds if anyone has any questions or comments, but we do have to move kind of quickly. I can't see it, by the way. Someone has questions
we're good.
Or comments. So
Let's
go
to the next one. Yep.
Here we go. Number 2.
Message number 2. Subject line, UX designer, remote, Bayer Crop Sciences. Hey, Brandon, I came across your profile on LinkedIn and thought you might be interested in the role I am hiring for at Bayer. I've attached a full job description with more information. If you are interested, please attach a copy of your resume. Warmly, who am I? Let's see here. I've got Noah Simon. What do you got, buddy?
I'm going to call in and say that this is Abby.
This is Abby.
Abby Kanowski. Nice job.
So one of the things that I really liked about this message, so it's a short message, but actually there's a ton of info. And I've got this hypothesis, and it's something like, if someone clicked on the message because they like the subject line, I think it's very likely that they are going to open up the attachment. When someone opens up the attachment, they're taking a few extra seconds, investing themselves into it. And so I think this is a way to get a lot of information out there without scaring people off with a big block of text. Questions, comments? Matt, you got a call in if that's the case.
I like that.
What's that? Did somebody say something?
We're gonna
I
keep
was just
moving.
saying that I
Oh.
like the attachment that that you guys are like attaching the job description, like bombarding the message with all the info. So
Totally
it's, like, hidden
agree.
little-
It's a clean, it's a
Yes.
cleaner format, easier to read,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, lots of words, my eyes glaze over.
All right, number 3.
Let's do 3. Message number 3, subject line. Senior software engineer, Scala, Java, eBay, full-time. Hi, Brandon. Would you be interested in this? If so, please book some time below. My Calendly hyperlink, that's a hyperlink that you can click on. Detailed job description, paste it in here. Let's see. I think this is probably the easiest one of all time. Do we have anybody other than Felipe on the phone that's willing to take a guess at this one? We're not on the phone. Okay. Very good. Catherine, I saw your hand go up and go down. I'm going to call on you anyways. Take a guess.
Is this Jess?
This is Jess.
Is it?
Yay!
Come on, guys.
Ooh. Okay, so I really like I really like this initial call to action. So people are receiving messages and emails nowadays all day from people that they don't know what you want. And so getting straight to the point, are you interested in this? If so, straightforward next step. I think that's a pretty powerful move. I do really like, so she mentions eBay, which is a household name in the subject line. She mentions the full-time nature of the opportunity. And I think, again, for people that are receiving a lot of outreach, this sort of information is going to go a long way. All right, I'm going to keep it moving.
And Jessica is the queen of Calendly. So, okay, message number 4, subject line, 100% remote CRM administrator opportunity. Hi, Brandon. I hope all is well. I'm reaching out to you regarding a CRM administrator role. This role is a long-term contract and is 100% remote. Wanted to see if you were in the job market or currently looking. If so, please contact me back for more specific details. I hope to hear from you soon. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
I think this is the toughest one. Good guess.
Good day. Come on, people. There's $10 on the line. Take a guess. This is crickets, Brandon.
I'm going to give a hint. It's one of the recruiting leads.
Catherine, hand up first.
This kind of sounds like Joe.
It kind of is Joe Pelosi. Look at this enlargement of photo right there. Nice move, right? So this is kind of like a tease or get them on the hook message, as I guess I'm coining it. I think so. This message is likely to have the highest response rate of any message. Joe does have the highest response rate from the data that I pulled. But a lot of people are going to be responding. So he says, if so, please contact me for more specific details. So he doesn't give a ton of information outside of the title of the name and the fact that it's a remote and a contract position. But there's a line of thought that if you can engage them at all, you're more likely to convert that. And so I think this is a really good example of trying to get people to bite and then engaging in further conversation. It's also a super mobile device friendly message. So a lot of people read their LinkedIn messages on their mobile device. Pretty straightforward in the sense that he gives a little bit of information and then they literally can just respond and say, I'm interested in hearing more. And all of that I think is very friendly on the mobile device, whereas sometimes attachments, people struggle to open that on their device. Okay, we keep moving. So now I've got 5 kind of like one-off things that I wanted to talk about. So not necessarily the whole message, but some little moves. Matt, you're back up.
Link me the goods. I'm reaching out to see if you'd be interested in a product owner BSA permanent position with our client Epsilon in San Diego, California. Here's the
So
So
before
that's a
we,
website.
yeah, so before we show the person, putting a link to favorable information, whether it's the company website or something else, I think is a great move because it's often the case that people are going to want to do some further research, perhaps before calling you or after calling you. But you can control the message by giving them a link that you know is going to lead them into a place that you'd like for them to see. Any guesses as to who this is?
I don't think anybody's gonna have, I don't think there's enough there. Oh, Jordan.
I was gonna go with Leonard.
It is Leonard, baby.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
All right. Good. He's gone. Okay.
First names ever. Or should I be reading that part? Or I'll leave that to you. I won't do that. Hi, Brandon. And then body of the message is the dots. And then thanks so much for your time, Brandon. Best regards.
So so this move I really like when this person showed me that they do this. So a lot of us know that you can put person's first name at the top. Like there's a button on LinkedIn to where it'll auto fill that in for you. But I really like the move of putting it in other places in the message because I think it comes across as a lot more personalized and not like a group message. Any idea of who this is?
Someone nice, I bet.
Ooh, Anna.
I just took a wild guess. Is it Noah Simon?
It is Noah Simon.
You guys really know each other. This is great. Yeah, a lot less spammy.
And here I thought it was someone nice, and it was Noah. I was wrong. Way off.
we
base.
did prepare the group for jokes, so that's good. So hi Brandon. I'm currently partnered with one of the largest supermarkets in the country. They're hiring several mobile engineers to support a greenfield project on their flagship app. This is a long-term remote contract that offers a highly competitive hourly rate. Are you free for a chat? P.S. I also work with several companies for both full-time and contract positions. Talk soon.
So the thing that I wanted to point out with this is that PS at the end. So in addition to reaching out to someone and advertising a specific position, certainly for like specialist teams or recruiters that are recruiting on a position that they could otherwise likely do cross submits for, I think an extra little line like that can help get additional responses from people who maybe don't want the specific role that you're recruiting on, but that have some other, but that are still looking otherwise. Any guesses as to who this is?
There's not that many recruiters on the mobile team. Okay, let's go with Morgan. I saw you, Morgan. You went up and down. Oh, there
It
you go.
sure is Brianna.
There you have it. Yep, you want people to think of you as a one-stop shop for lots of amazing job opportunities, right? So that I agree on that PS line is fantastic.
Okay. So I gotta caveat this whole thing. So this was one of our senior recruiters was sent this message from another recruiter. And maybe I'll not have you read this one out loud, Matt, but the thing that I wanted to point out is the bulleting of the relevant, like the bulleting of kind of like the meat of the message. In the video, if you guys watch the video, I'm going to send you, that was one of the things that the developer that I spoke with really liked about other recruiters' messages is when the meat of the message was bulleted and easy to find. But any guess as to which senior recruiter received this message? It's a hard one. I will give you a hint. The person's in Chicago.
Noah, go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Labs.
Mr. Laz. Mr. Laz.
Luckily, he
Okay.
didn't take that recruiting director role. He stayed
taking the
put.
job offer.
Okay. Again, I don't need Matt on this one. The thing that I wanted to point out with this, and by the way, let me just spoil this. It is it's Jessica. So the guy underneath her, I saw he viewed my LinkedIn profile, and I actually opened him up because of his like tagline caught my eye. And I was speaking with Jessica earlier this week, and she mentioned that she had noticed that her response rate had gone up from after she put in the corporate matchmaker detective recruiter tagline. I think if you think about people that are receiving a lot of messages a day, something like that can make the difference. It can catch someone's eye, and sometimes the name of the game is just breaking through the noise. So I like that quite a bit. I might be throwing Esther under the bus because I think she helped Jessica out with that and might get some more requests. All right. The last thing, and this is more of like an opinion piece, and I feel like this could there's a training that could be around this whole topic, is the discussing of contract rules in a message. So I think like the reason that I felt compelled to do a training on InMail messages is because it's not just that I think people receive a lot more messages now than they did even just a couple of years ago. And again, if you watch the developer video that I'm going to send, but just in general, I think a lot of people nowadays are filtering out positions that mention contract or that mention contract in a necessarily harsh way. And one of the things I really want to point out is that MSP and VMS contracts are not what a lot of people think of when they think of contracts. These are almost always long-term positions. The contract length that's listed is really nothing more often than the budget approval thing. And the companies that do hire MSP or VMS contractors are really looking for permanent candidates or candidates that are looking for permanent long-term positions. And so, again, there's a lot more to unpack here, and I'm happy to discuss with anyone afterwards, but I would be very careful about how you mention contract in your message and over the phone. And that's a Carrot Top that I did for myself.
That's you.
So saying this is a contract opportunity, this is a 12-month contract, really any other sentence that undersells it, would be very careful about doing that. And I provided a few extra options of some alternatives. So I'll just read these quickly. So this position will start as a contract, the need is indefinite, and eBay or whoever typically looks to convert people quickly into permanent full-time roles. You could say it's a multi-year opportunity starting as a contract, but likely offering the ability to convert to a permanent role, or this is a contract to hire opportunity. Happy to explain further if interested. So just a few different options of how to mention contract if you are going to mention it. I often don't mention it, and that's something I'll just discuss over the phone. Stop sharing my screen. And
I would always say long-term open-ended position. You don't have to talk about what type of position, but that does in fact describe the position. We're not worried about end dates. Another thing, I think, don't be too literal. A lot of times a job will come to you and maybe it'll have, it comes through a VMS and it'll have a 6-month term on it. That's just the term that company's finance team allows them for allocating funding. That's just for the work orders and things of that nature. Everything is long-term, open-ended that we're working on. Sometimes it's more project specific and you want to give that information. But this is one of those things where I think less is more on details. Contract is a word that can flush out. You might miss out on 20% of the viable candidates for a position, and that's a significant number just because of the use of that one word. So I totally agree with this.
Yep. And that actually segues me nicely to this slide, Matt. Oh, you didn't see that.
Nope.
To this right here, and then again, and again, and again, and I think one more time.
Yeah, that's
nice.
That's okay.
All right. So the whole time I'm looking at these PowerPoint slides, cannot tell if people like this, if they hated it, if there are any questions. I was worried.
We loved it, Brandon. It was friggin' awesome, super insightful, very helpful, and actionable. Thank you.
Sweet.
That's great feedback.
Thanks.
Thank you,
I
Aaron.
think it was really good. I have a lot of really good notes that I'm gonna utilize while I'm sourcing later today. So yeah, I think that was really insightful, really useful. Even like I use InMails every day, all day, but a lot of new things that I learned. So thank you.
Great. It's very tangible, right? It's tips and tricks of people that are very, very successful here and have done it over and over again. And you can take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and sometimes it works and make it your own. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, definitely gonna customize some of these for my own, Brandon. So thank you.
I will send out PowerPoint deck in case you guys want to pick some of those messages. For me, really, if there's like one takeaway that I just want to get across is I think a well-crafted message is more important than it used to be. I think it's like way more important than it used to be. And so if you are, if every role that you recruit on, you're just taking some template, deleting, you're not putting a lot of thought into it. I would highly recommend if you have any follow-up questions to this to hit me up. Happy to talk more.
Brandon, there was a question on the chat.
Okay.
For you.
Let's see it. Second. Whoever had a question, do they want to re-ask it?
Maya Davies said, would you be worried that the candidate might go around you as a recruiter and go straight to the client?
Yeah, so I'm of the opinion that that doesn't happen nearly as much as people may worry. I think one of the things to consider is if you are reaching out to people who get a ton of messages, so let's think about like open to work candidates that have the open to work on LinkedIn that are developers. I think that they may not respond if you don't give them that information. On the flip side, though, if you have like a niche role and you're messaging someone who doesn't receive a lot of InMails, I would be less concerned about withholding that information. Other questions? Noah's got his hand up. I don't know if he's had it up.
Yeah, it's just left over.
Okay.
Like the blood's got to be run out of his hand by now.
All right, I'm gonna give 15 seconds and then we'll end this if there's no questions.
But a couple things Esther dropped in the chat. So there's a job description template and a link to that document for you guys to check out. And then also, as Brandon had mentioned when talking about Jessica's LinkedIn profile, if you haven't already, book some time with Esther to review your LinkedIn profile and how it'll bring about more results for you. Please do so. I think you're selling yourself short if you don't spend the time doing with that. So we've had a lot of great results. So thanks, Esther. Go ahead, Brandon.
Done. Hitting the leave button. Thank you all for joining. Hope you were able to take something from it.
Amen. Yeah.
Thanks, Brandon. It's great.